What kept you going?
Hate I started a company with dad called Indira Alloys. This is a trading company who trades alloy steel and tool steel. I always had it in mind that I have to be a bigger player and I have to position myself as a bigger player and come to you as if I'm a bigger player, even though I wasn't at that time.
कैसे ठोक के पैसा कमाओ?
It's a simple strategy. So if you take my business away from me, I will get back into the steel.
And how long would it take you to get back to your current position?
Probably house. मैं उतरा हूँ ये चीज करने में. I have to do it. I cannot lose. It wasn't about money for me. It was about creating a healthy business with good revenue and good margins. I have no plan B. That's why I'm a teat. I don't want to have a plan B.
How did it affect your college?
I flunked my last. If you want to earn money, you have to let others earn money.
What do you know that is true that I believe is untrue?
जो धरती से निकलता है वो असली पैसा. Hi, I'm Indranil Gupta. I live in Bangalore. I started a company with dad called Indira Alloys. So this is basically a trading company, full-fledged trading company who trades alloy steel and tool steel. Sometime in 2016, 2015, there were some disputes. So पापा ने बोला मम्मी को इंद्रनील बैंगलोर में है क्राइस्ट में, छोड़ते हैं कैलकाटा, चलते हैं, फ्यूचर बनाना है फैमिली का. There was some dispute, so dad just in one day left Calcutta, and then he was here for like I think the first week. We had no home, nothing. We were in a hotel, got a rented house, and I think for another month we were just there, four of us, my brother, mom, dad, me, and we were trying to figure out करना क्या है. जाके टायर का दुकान देखा, सोचा कि टायर का दुकान खोलेंगे, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का दुकान खोलेंगे, कपड़ा का दुकान खोलेंगे. And on talking with my dad's friends a bit, one of them said, Anil, my dad's name is Anil. Anil, alloy steel का ट्रेडिंग कर, बहुत स्कोप है. करके dad said, this is so his name is Raju uncle. He's my dad's uncle. He said, ये काम करते हैं, तुम जाके पीनिया देखो. So dad and I started going to Pina. We were going to Pina, I think, every day for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we were walking around just to figure out what the industry is, क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है. और बहुत common क्या दिखता था वहाँ पे, trucks would be going and there would be steel in it. Raju uncle was correct. Steel का बहुत requirement है. We kept going to Pina. We started, like figuring out ये क्या है, ये क्या नहीं. देखते रहते थे Pina में. फिर करके we decided अलॉय स्टील का दुकान खोलते हैं. पापा ने राजू अंकल को बोला मैं ये काम करूँगा. ही कनेक्टेड अस विद वन पर्सन करके वी स्टार्टेड विथ वन ट्रक दैट वाज अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 25 लाख रुपीस. 25. एक गोडाउन लिया हमने रेंट पे. इट वाज अ स्मॉल 500 स्क्वायर फीट गोडाउन. दोस 500 स्क्वायर फीट इज वेरी स्मॉल. वी डिडंट नो व्हाट टू डू, व्हाट नॉट टू डू. उसमें एक गाड़ी माल गिरा था 25 टन का for 25 lakh rupees and the godown was full. तो काम स्टार्ट किया. Dad told me, beta, and this time I was in college. I was probably in second year. Yeah, I was in second year. So I told Dad, I'll come 2-3 days a week and I'll just try to skip college and come in the evening half of college. So I would go to work, I think 3-4 times a week. And जाके बस बैठा रहता था पहला 6 महीना. In the morning, mom would go with dad and I would just be there. And dad would go to a lot of clients, bro. Like, पापा clients के पास जाते थे, बोलते थे कि so the first batch of materials that I got was EN31, and because of Raju uncle connecting my dad to the person, I got a credit, a 3-month credit. I have not invested any money yet. So this was on credit. Credit पे मेरे को मेरा पहला गाड़ी माल मिला. जाता था, बोलता था. Dad would go to a lot of people and people. So this is the thing. So Dad would go to people, market, and tell them that we're new here, and they would say stuff like, if you fail, sell your entire materials to us. Your rates are too high. We can't buy from you. We don't know you. So this kept on going for 6 months. Lot of these things would happen. नहीं कर पाएगा, fail हो जाएगा. Literally for the first 6 months, the amount I sold, I sell today in 2 days. Or not even 2 days, probably in 1 day I just sell off today. It's grown from there till here. तो क्या होता था, ज़्यादा था पहले. My dad would tell me, so I had I had no office staff. I had 2 laborers. I was there, dad was there, and dad would tell me, beta, माल को छुओ, touch the material. And I didn't have a crane, I had a chain pulley. माल उठाओ, समझो माल, how to move this material around. You have got, and so we started this business. We never had any prior, knowledge in this line. Dad was doing something completely different. He was into the fan business. So this was a very new thing. All I counted on and my mom counted on was my dad's 35 years of business experience to set this up. पापा बस मेरे को एक चीज बोलते थे, माल उठाओ, माल को छुओ. Let the the sharp edges go into your fingers, feel it, understand the material. तुम काम अच्छा कर रहे हो, तुमको प्यार आएगा काम में. करते करते यार, I did a lot of these things, like we were doing this. But करते करते 6 महीना में realize हुआ, even though we had sold very less, just doing this, we realized this space is not enough. We need to move up. We've barely made any sales, nothing. But first thing that came in the mind, काम बड़ा करना है, यहाँ से निकलना है. And I think, that day, Dad even told me one thing. That Dad said, this is the correct thing we needed to understand. We need to move out of here. So sometime on the 6th month, we started planning. जाके we started searching. We got a 5,000 square feet space. Instant book किया उसको. We gave, I think, it was around 5 lakhs of, token amount. करके we booked the place. And for the next 6 months, sales increased a bit. थोड़ा sale होने लगा था. And we're like, इसको करना है, ये काम करना है, इसको ये set हो जाएगा. I mean, the basics we learned during that first 6 months. Where you can go wrong, how to handle stuff, what to do, what not to do. करके we got into a second go down. We built it up. वहाँ जाके dad said, तुम दुकान में बैठो, I will go travel India. So while dad was traveling India, making connections with suppliers, I was sitting here and trying to figure out with that same lot of material. That lot was not over yet. That one truck was not over yet. I was figuring out, and I remember a person I look up to told me, जो भी काम कर रहा है, माल तुमको ठोक के बेचने का. Think like that. You have to build capital. You don't have capital. तुम अगर सीधा रिटेल में घुस गया, तुम कैपिटल नहीं बना पाए. माल ठोक के बेचो, होलसेल में बेचो, तुम पहले कैपिटल बनाओ. So this led to that thought of how I should position my company Indira Alloys in that market. I should be positioned as a wholesaler. So the first thing developed in my mind कि माल काट के नहीं बेचूंगा, लेंथ का लेंथ बेचूंगा, बंडल का बंडल बेचूंगा, तो ही होगा. So करके I started selling like that. So what happened is, I figured out to sell like that, you had to keep a lower margin of somewhere around 8 to 10% and sell material. Start rotating. तब तक पापा का फोन आया, कैलकाटा में प्रकाश स्टील के साथ लिंक हुआ है, मैं गाड़ी भेज रहा हूँ माल का. So this was the second material that came. तो करके then I started visiting clients over here. I was going to office 3 or 4 days a week. And then eventually, I started listening, going to college, doing this more. Yeah, so I started going to clients. I was extremely naive, bro. Like, I was a child. I was extremely naive at that time. And dad would say, bro, you go. I need you to feel some embarrassment. I would go to people, they would make me sit for 2-3 hours outside just to go and tell them that this is the material I have, and they would ask me rate kya hai, and I would tell them the rate, and they would be like, काम नहीं होगा करके, and that said, this is what you have to develop and be okay with being sent back. But you have to do this all the time. You have to do this all the time. You have to keep doing it. It does not matter if people are sending you back. I think doing that got me into the discipline of cold calling, messaging, talking to people, meeting clients, calling them over to my kuda. And it's a very frequent thing now. Basically, through a week, I'm doing at least 50 to 100 cold calls. I'm sending, messages of my new arrivals, and I'm personalizing messages to them on a daily. And over time, I think I have got good at marketing because I have been able to refine it. Fast forward today, I feel every single message I share to someone is worth 3 to 5 lakhs in revenue. Every single message. So I see my marketing messages, what I'm doing, like that. So currently, like fast forwarding today, I kept on doing this. Currently, I'm positioned as a tool steel and alloy steel wholesaler in the Tamil Nadu, Karnataka region. And yeah, that's how I started. Now I'm deep into it. And just wanted to get deeper into it.
What does that mean, dude? When you talk about trading steel, trading is buying from one place and selling to another place.
Yes, that's all I do. There is always a shortage in supply. And I am a stockist as well. Yes, I'm a very big I'm a decently big stockist.
Let's start with the first question. How do you handle no's? Vishwat and I, when we call people, would you like to be on the podcast? When they say no, it hurts. And you selling a commodity item, you have to go through no because of, rates are too high. How do you handle it? How do you set up your mindset as an entrepreneur, somebody watching this? How can you gear yourself to handle these no's?
At some point, you've got to stop thinking about it, or like spending too much time thinking on it. I mean, you're wasting your time thinking about it, or, like pondering on it. But yeah, like you try to figure out why they're saying no. Probably you're not providing enough value for them to say yes. आपको माल बेचना है. Just rates are not enough to be able to sell. There's more to it. Yes, over time the no's have reduced. But that's a skill you have to develop, I feel. When you've heard too many no's, I mean, you come to a point where you're like, okay, bro, this is an everyday thing. If I'm going to hear 10 no's today, I am going to hear another 20 yeses.
You use the word value. I hear the word value a lot, right? And value is a word that is thrown around like crazy. Let's have your definition of value in your trade. What do you mean by I need to provide more value?
आपको पैसा कमाना है. Today, if you're doing any work in trading, I'm talking about trading. If you want to earn money, you have to let others earn money. So if you can convey to them that if you buy from me, there is space for you to earn satisfactory amount of money for yourself. If you stock from me, there is space for you to earn money ahead of this. They will buy from you. And what are the facilities you're giving? I'm in a place where I can lend money in terms of commodity. I can lend steel for credit. I can give you credit for steel. अभी मैं ये तो नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि आप मेरे से माल लो और मेरे को पैसा दो. मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ आप मेरे से माल लो, मेरे को पैसा ये स्टिपुलेटेड पीरियड में दो. व्हाटएवर वी हैव फिगर्ड आउट कि इतना टाइम में आपको पैसा देना है. नाउ इट डिपेंड्स फॉर मटेरियल्स. And there's space for you to earn money. Why will you not keep materials? जब तक आपको मेरे को पैसा देना होगा तब तक आप माल बेच के मेरे को पैसा दे दोगे, वो पैसा भी वापस आ जाएगा आपके पास, and then you can pay me and keep the profits.
Bro, you said oftentimes making a sale or making a no into a yes is not all about price. How do you figure out that other than price bit? How did you figure out that other than price bit?
I would often go to people. I mean, it's very visible that you don't have the funds to stock in cash. Your funds are stuck elsewhere and you are looking for credit. You have to give credit lines to other people. But yeah, like I always had it in mind that I have to be a bigger player and I have to position myself as a bigger player and come to you as if I'm a bigger player, even though I wasn't at that time. And the thing is, not everyone stocks everything. We had to keep fast moving items at that time because I didn't have enough funds. I could only stock items which I could turn over very fast. So I started stocking EN8 and EN31 at that time. You can't just start stocking materials which are very expensive and slow moving and which will give you higher revenue, but you need funds for that. You need holding capacity. आपको holding capacity बनाना है.
Are you revenue focused or are you margin focused?
I'm margin focused today. Earlier on, I was revenue focused.
The big question is, you are in a commodity trade. Commodity by itself generally means that the market sets the price. Today that you are in commodity trade, how are you able to maintain margins that, so I'm from Panipat originally. Panipat is a textile place. What happens in Panipat generally is that somebody introduces something into the market at a high margin. Within 2 years, there are X number of new factories that are making the same thing because मैंने देखा वो पैसे कमा रहा है, वो इसमें कमा रहा है, करने के लिए तो मशीन ही लगानी है, मैं भी मशीन लगा लेता हूँ. एक ने मशीन लगाई, अगले ने लगाई, अगले ने लगाई, सब ने सेम चीज़ बनानी शुरू कर दी, ये commoditize हो गया product and margins are dead and suddenly the product dies. Steel, I feel, is a very similar play, right? When you're doing trading also, the next person can undercut you, they see you make money, they'll undercut you. How do you sustain yourself? How do you sustain your margins? कैसे ठोक के पैसा कमाओगे?
It's a simple strategy. So today I have 10 grades I trade in. Yeah, so I'll tell you the grades that I trade in. It's basically a tool. It's divided into two different parts. One is tooling and one is EN series alloys. So tooling में 4 grade है, 52100, D3, HCHCR, D2 1.2379, and I've got HDS H30 hot die steel. Apart from that, in the EN series, I have I trade in, there are another 6 or 7 grades over there, six grades over there. So this is how I work. Basically, the alloying section of it, I see as the turnover anchoring materials. So this is the thing, you have to make a set of materials an anchor. And the other I see as an investment where I earn money.
Let's dumb it down. Let's dumb down the anchor. What does it mean? And let's dumb it down for a 4-year-old.
The anchoring section of it, basically the materials that are there, those are very fast moving materials. I don't put too much of my mind in it. I just order it in bulk. And the thing is, so for the market, people are like, ठीक है, Indira Alloys में जाऊँगा, सब माल मिल जाएगा. मेरे को उसके साथ tooling का भी माल मिल जाएगा. That material keeps my customers with me and sells in bulk. I have lower margins in that. But that material helps me sell my tool steel and retain my margins. I have high margins on my tooling steel. अभी मैं आपको बताता हूँ, मैं alloy steel का माल 20 टन बेचूंगा, मेरा जितना प्रॉफिट होगा, I will sell tool steel 2 टन और मेरा उससे ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट हो जाता है. But you know that flow is always there. Alloy steel बहुत बिकता है. Coming to this strategy and building this part took me some time. I think it took me 4 or 5 years to figure this out. But every steel trader you will see will have a section of materials or grades that they use to anchor customers, to pull in customers.
What is alloy steel and what is tooling steel?
Bro, so alloy steel and tooling steel, again, alloy steel is basically steel used for a lot of engineering work. It's simple alloys Tool steel is used for the tooling section to make dies, to make rollers, to make all of those things.
So my understanding is that tooling steel is more customizable.
No. Tooling steel has more molybdenum and tungsten. It's molybdenum, chromium, and tungsten based. And alloy steel is all just basically just regular stuff, carbon, silicon, manganese, and all of that in it.
And how does that make a difference?
जैसे D3 हो गया, D3 1.2080 जो material है, so it's used to make deep drawing tools, woodworking tools, stone pressing tools, pressure pads, high wear resisting plastic mold profile rolls and all of that. Again, if you go to H13 is used to make forging die, molds, screws, barrels, and then it's used to make forming rolls and stuff like that. अभी मैं आपको बताता हूँ alloy steel का क्या होता है. Alloy steel में basically you can make stuff like piston bolts, spindles, camshaft, gears, just regular stuff, engineering stuff.
Let's tone it down. Let's dumb it down. So let's go with I am going to purchase steel from Indranil. Okay. And then let's go with what do I do and what kind of steel would I need? Let's go with like 5 or 6 examples.
I have completely gotten into tool steel, but if you want to start off, I think the easiest thing to start off is carbon steel. I am completely out of carbon steel. I would do that earlier on to build capital. मैंने capital बनाया with carbon steel because I would just look at it as trading that time. Now I'm very out of basic trading. I'm into more complex stuff. But what you can do with carbon steel, because carbon steel is basically used for everything. It's used for basic normal base plates. It's used for so many things, bro. Like, I can't name 1, 2, 3 of them. It's just used all over the place. But carbon steel is very good for trading. Yeah, like you can get volume in trading carbon steel or mild steel. But mild steel is extremely something you have to be on your foot for and sell very fast because it's very volatile and fluctuates very fast.
Yeah, so I don't want to become Indranil. I want to use Indranil's current resources in order to build myself a business.
Bro, you can get into trading with because इसके बाद जो engineering वाला part है मेरे को नहीं मालूम, but you should get into trading to make money. This is a very fund generating focused business for me.
Give me a 5-year plan. I'll start today, and in 5 years, I want to be like a proper trader, like you say, to make money. Let's have a 5-year plan. How do I start from 0 to 1?
From 0 to 1, yeah. So basically, you get into the most basic materials. That is EN8 or EN31. EN8 rounds, I would say, you can get into it and start selling in bulk because EN8 is required everywhere. You have to dip your foot into it. You have to visit people and sell this material.
Aaj main ghusunga. How do I find people?
You have to do this. Sell in bulk. This is EN8 material. The one which you see on the left is EN8 material. You have to purchase material from traders or from manufacturers and visit factories and be able to pull bulk orders.
What is the kind of capital requirement to pull these bulk orders? If someone were to start working as a trader today,
the first push of money which I put into it was 2 crore rupees. Today, 2 crores has become a lot of crores just, compounding. Steel is a game of compounding. So the truck you see on the left, right, that's 40 lakhs. That's a 40 lakh single sale. Over time, I have been able to compound to come to this level where I'm doing around 5 to 10 bulk sales and the rest of it is all retail in a month. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep getting orders, getting into bigger clients. It's a game of compounding funds.
I'm going to come back to the transition. You gave us a story of when you were in college and when you and your dad were setting this up, where you were doing part-time office, part-time college. Did it affect your college? How did it affect your college? What was the impact of that?
I flunked my last year. And then I just went, cleared those papers, and I got out. I was not focused in college at all. I was focused in this, in work. I mean, no pain, no regrets. I was very happy doing this. My aptitude for studies was zero. Like I wanted to be there in the real world and feel the friction.
Let's have a controversial opinion then. Do you think college is important?
I do think it's important. I think it's very important for a very holistic reason that, you have to experience, how do I put this? College taught me how to speak in front of crowds, and I was in a very good environment. I went to Christ University. I was with a very good mix of people. I think college was very important for me to be in that crowd or to be with that section of people. But पढ़ाई नहीं किया, मतलब इंस्टीट्यूशनल पढ़ाई में मेरा जितना फोकस नहीं था. ज़्यादा मस्ती कर रहा था मैं. I was getting into trouble and I was figuring out of how to get out of trouble. That's about it. And I do that today as well. I'm always in trouble, some sort of trouble, and we're always getting out of it. But yes, being in college is very important.
You're saying your dad was traveling through the country, speaking to suppliers, meeting people. You were going to people's offices, waiting for a few hours. How do you find out about these people? How do you get in touch with these people? How did you go about doing this?
So my focus was Pina at that time. Pina is one of the largest industrial areas in Asia. So I would always be in that environment where there were factories, where there were offices. And, I would walk into alloy steel trades, steel customers, offices or godowns. And I would go and meet them and I would tell them that I've opened my shop over here. It's called Indira Alloys. मैं ऐसा माल बेचता हूँ. आप अपना कार्ड दो. मैं बात करता था. I would understand. I would go talk to them, speak about materials, ask them what they were doing, and just make that initial. It's all about making that initial connection. Once you make that initial connection, you just have to follow up with messages, calls, and then एक ना एक दिन माल बिकने लगता है. You don't stop just because they say no one time.
वही यार, ये एक ना एक दिन जो माल बिकने लगता है, eventually the no turns into a yes. What kept you going?
Hate होगा.
वो ढीठपना आया कहाँ से?
मैं उतरा हूँ ये चीज करने में. I have to do it. I cannot lose. I keep trying. I'll keep trying. So there was a client, I had been trying since the last 5 years. Bro, you will not believe the amount of messages I've sent him, the amount of calls I've made. This year, 3 months ago, I started business with him. Fast forward 3 months today, I'm doing 90 lakhs of business with him in 3 months. And I have been after this guy for the last 5 years. He wouldn't reply to me. He wouldn't see anything. He wouldn't say anything. Message pe message, message pe message. I was like, bhai, isko crack karunga. Isko crack karunga. और मेरे को बहुत scrutiny किया. When he started business with me, he made me extremely uncomfortable. मेरे को बहुत scrutiny किया. माल क्या है? माल कहाँ से आ रहा है? कैसा माल है? What is the material? What is the vanadium percentage? Is the material quality good? Have you done UT testing on it? What if cracks come? This, that, a lot of things. I was like, आप माल लो. My quality is good. I have worked on my quality. I have done my homework. I know everything about my material. I'm giving you the highest quality material. You start work. And then he started. Once the quality set with him, once the material set with him, he started working. And yes, the first thing was people usually, क्या होता है ना, when you go to someone and when you start a business, first they'll usually say immediate. मैं बोला आप लो उधारी, मैं आपको 90 days को उधारी देता हूँ, आप मटेरियल लेना स्टार्ट करो. So he was like, अच्छा ठीक है, दो मटेरियल. And I think the first order was a 10 lakh rupee order. He started taking, and as I said, it became 90 lakhs in just 3 months, and I'm going to pull this with him. I have very less clients. I have approximately 189 clients as of today, and they are just repeat customers.
ब्रो बट ये ढीठपना आया कहाँ से यार? देखो ढीठ बनना है इज अ वेरी इजी स्टेटमेंट टू से. आई फील you have to be a dheet, you have to just keep going at it. Super easy to say, but after the 5th no, after the 10th no, after the 50th no, you will just keep, you're like, फायदा क्या है? What kept you going?
What kept me going? I wanted to create an industry. I feel today there are a lot of people working and associated with this. I want to create an industry. That's all that's there in my mind. After a certain point, it wasn't about money for me. It was about creating a healthy business with good revenue and good margins.
You know, this sounds like a conversation from the 80s or from the 60s or the 70s. Ki, if someone was to set up this business, it would have been my father, right? Because it is such a legacy business. You know, steel, when you hear of steel companies, they are generally, when Jindal Steel started, at that point, 200 different steel companies started. And that's where steel industry started booming from. So when you speak to steel people, they are the ones who've been running a business for 20, 30 years. But you started it just now, right? What do you know that is true that I believe is untrue? ऐसा क्या है कि तुम जानते हो कि ये सच है बट लोगों को ये झूठ लगता है? जैसे आई वोंट गेट इनटू स्टील बिकॉज आई वुड थिंक कि जगह ही नहीं है. Yet you start and you create a place and now you have like 189 people who are trusting you and giving you repeat orders. So what is it?
जो धरती से निकलता है ना वो असली पैसा होता है. This is all come out from earth. This is the real wealth. Steel, I feel, for me, I found it in steel. And, like over time, compounding, I always have a range of 700 to 1200 tons of steel. I started off with 25 tons. That's why I'm in it, bro. Like, I don't know if you believe in that or not, but this is what I see as real money as. Money is just some numbers that are always coming and going. I've never really seen money. You know, like bachpan mein, you might have had this conversation when you were younger, a very naive conversation with your friends. How much cash have you ever seen in front of you? Have you ever had this talk with friends or someone ask you, आप असली में कितना cash देखे हो अपने सामने? I feel if you go ask steel people, no, they, in their mind, it's like, bro, मैंने अपने सामने इतना steel देखा. And that's about it, bro. Like, I have never focused on the numbers or stuff like that, bro. I've always focused on the steel, and the numbers are just subtracting and adding, coming and going, but my steel is increasing.
If I take away all of your business from you today, take it away, and I leave you within your city today again to start over from the beginning, how long will it take for you to set it up again?
Much faster. Bro, what took time was compounding the steel. No, I'm not talking about compounding the money. I'm talking about compounding the steel. What took time was compounding the steel to be at this volume today. So, if you take my business away from me, I will get back into the steel.
And how long will it take you to get back to your current position?
To my current position? Probably half, because I have made good networks and good sources.
If I take away your network then?
So I'll make it again. Probably half. So I'm talking about 7 years, bro. Like, it's not a very long time. I had given myself a time of 15 years. So I'm just halfway through it. Where I wouldn't put my mind into anything else, but still, this is my only business. I have no plan B. That's why I'm a Dheet. I don't want to have a plan B. Probably now you might be understanding why I use the term a Dheet. I cannot fail in this business. The thing is, it never comes to my mind कि नहीं ये नहीं होगा, कि ये possible नहीं है, नहीं करना है, इसको कैसे करना है उसको figure out करो.
That 3.5 years is your ignorance debt.
So in one sentence, what would be the most important thing that you learned in this time that would allow you to cut it down by 3.5 years?
To say no. I'm very comfortable saying no. Being told no, I've gotten so good at saying no, it's not even a joke.
So, Indranil, we'll be bringing this to a wrap. Thank you for getting on the podcast. It was an amazing discussion, and I feel like we got to learn so much about steel. I don't know about our viewers, but Vishwat and I definitely got to learn a lot about steel. We have a tradition on our podcast. Last guest has left you a question, and we would love for you to leave a question for the next guest, not knowing who they are. So the question we have for you is, if you were dying and there was one line on your tombstone, what would it be?
It's chill.